in a while. How you guys doing? For those who don't know, my name is Tremel Thompson. I'm the host of Progressive Action TV, in which we discuss union issues, politics, things that's happening in jobs across America, in communities, everything. We talk about everything here. And like I said, not gonna waste too much time. Um, if you guys want to donate to the platform, let me start with that. You guys could donate via Cash App. The Cash App is Progressive Action 100. If you guys would like to donate via PayPal, the PayPal is Progressive Action. Now I want to get straight into it. I want to start off with the bus crash that happened in the Bronx. So we go play some videos from there, and we're going to discuss it. Matter of fact, let's get straight into what the crash looked like. Check it out.
Where's the driver?
So as you've seen on the video, horrible acts. I think this is like a nightmare for any bus operator, right? It goes over some like bridge type thing. No one seriously hurt. The bus operator, he was hurt. And the first thing that first of all, if you tuning into the show, please share out the show. I need you guys to share out the show. But the first thing that the MTA thought to do was not acknowledge the bus operator and kind of like throw him up under the bus. Now, for those who don't know, Chief Safety and Security Officer Pat Warren, he's a cold-blooded liar. He's been lying this whole entire pandemic, putting workers at risk, putting the riding public at risk with his lies. He's a cold-blooded liar. He decided to say that the MTA's goal is to have the safest transportation system in the nation. And when an incident like this occurs, we take it very, very seriously. We are conducting a full investigation and will implement lessons learned in order to prevent it from happening again. We are certain this was a terrifying incident for those customers on the bus. Our hearts go out to them with hope that they can recover quickly. Now, let's decipher this statement right here. When the MTA talk about lessons learned, they not talking about lessons learned, something that they can learn from. The MTA is talking about how they can punish workers and how we can learn a lesson from what happened here, not through better training, not through the MTA not keeping up with their equipment, but through discipline. Now, if you notice, Pat Warren said, we are certain this was a terrifying incident for those customers on the bus. Our hearts go out to them with hope that they can recover quickly. Pat Warren didn't say anything about the bus operator. You think that this bus operator purposely drove the bus over that bridge thing? You think that that bus operator did that? Why wasn't the bus operator mentioned when he was sending his regards? That's because the MTA look at this mostly, and we go call it for what it is, look at this mostly minority and black workforce as criminals. Like we are F-ups, like we come here to screw up, right? The MTA never look at their equipment. Their equipment can never be to blame as to why something like this happened. Like, could you imagine how terrifying that was for this bus operator to experience that? People don't sit in the front of roller coasters for the same exact reason. He was in the front of this bus. He could have died. Not only did he survive, but he also tried to save the passengers. Now, the craziest thing out of all of this is that the MTA tried to say that he refused a drug test. Now, come to find out that that was a lie. He did not refuse a drug test. And just think about it like this. He just got into a very horrible accident. He's in pain. His jaw was wired. He's probably on some type of medicine that's going to put him out and not put him in the right frame of mind. So even if he did say no or not right now, he wasn't in his right frame of mind. How was he in his right frame of mind? Like, why would you, the first thing you guys ask for is a drug test? I mean, police officers get into shootings and they not questioning, and nothing happens until hours later. 72, I think they got up to 72 hours before they get drug tested and a question. Like the MTA is trying to question a bus operator who had a horrible accident. And then look at the screen once again. Pat Warren don't even send his no sympathy at all for the bus operator. How does that work? Can someone explain to me how does that work? Now, to make matters worse, and you know what? You guys could call it. Let me put the number on the screen. You guys could call in if you want. The number is 515-605-9842. To make matters worse, when you have an illogical union, matter of fact, before I even get into that, let's get into some of this video because the union had a press conference with the bus operator the day after the incident. Let's check out the video.
Behalf, of course, his jaw is having a piece of wire inside, and it's going to be a little difficult to speak. I'll take my social distancing space from him, and I'll allow him to speak along with his daughter next to him, for sake of on his behalf about what incident happened, and our TWU safety officers here would answer a few of those questions from the hospital and from the incident, and myself as well, if you have any questions afterwards. So I'll let him go, Everton. Okay.
Good afternoon. I don't know if you hear me correctly, but just so I get to speak. My name is Everton Beacon, and I just want to set for record straight. I did not refuse a drug test. I did a drug test, and I have the paper here to prove it. I did not get the result yet, and I did not refuse to take a drug test.
Could you describe what happened when you were driving the bus? What led up to this?
Okay. Upon leaving the bus stop, I'm coming down the hill to make the turn. I ease up off the gas pedal, and the bus just took off. And in the turn, I lost it. I don't know what happened after that.
What were you thinking when it went down?
All I'm thinking about is myself and the passengers. Hope everybody's safe. And as I got out, I helped what could help because my main concern was for them and my life.
How long have you been on this route?
I've been on and off, but this route just started, the new peak just started. But I did the turn hundreds of times.
Did anybody say anything during the day?
You mean any passengers? No, everybody was just screaming and crying, and they just, that's it.
Can you talk about a little bit about the drug test?
Yeah, I did a drug test. Somebody came in. I'm sorry, my eyes are hurting, but the hospital. The cop came in and he forced me to do a breathalyzer, which I did because I wasn't feeling well. But he said just take a deep breath and blow it like 3 times, and eventually I passed it. I did it, and after that, the dispatcher came in and asked me if I'm all right. I said yes, I'm okay. He said, you want to speak about this? I said, no, I don't want to talk anymore. And he left.
How do you feel now? Was it you did take it?
He did take a drug test and a breathalyzer.
You did take the drug test.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
This will speak to that.
The hospital took the drug test.
Was it a blood test?
Yeah, no, urine test. They took a urine test. They also took blood from me too. I don't know what they did with the blood. But they joked me a lot of times. I told them I didn't want them to jet me no more.
Can you just say what the passengers were doing at the time?
I mean, yeah, they were screaming and carrying on because everybody was in panic. You know what I mean? And I helped who I could help show the windshield because that's where I went through. You know what I mean? And when they called 911 and they came and seen and told me I should sit down because the bus looked like he was going to come over some more. So they said, move away from it. So everybody sit down and I was out of it.
Everton, can you describe how the bus went off the overpass? Did it go over fast or did it go kind of teeter and then come down? How did it play out?
Well, after he hit the barrier, it slows down. So it was coming down, then he just jammed between the barriers, and he just stopped right there before he touched the ground.
Did you think he was going to die?
That's where you're
Yes.
going.
I'm like I said.
Now we not go play the whole video because it's kind of senseless. But this is how desperate these reps get in the midst of election time. You will see stupidity like we just seen on the screen just now. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Richie Davis and Joe Diapola. Now, this is a live investigation at this point, and it still is, right? This happened about a week and a half ago. Why would they have the bus operator the day after the incident on camera answering questions before he even go speak to the MTA about the investigation? You would never see NYPD do this. You would never see FDNY do this. You would never see DSN sanitation do this. You would never see DC 37 do this, but you will see this in Local 100, right? First of all, he should have been there with a professional. Richie Davis is not a professional. We seen it. It's buffoonery what we just seen on the screen just now. Joseph Diapola, he's an idiot. He's not a professional, right? He should have had legal representation there. He should have been in a wheelchair. Did you guys see that crash? He was standing up. You can't be in that much pain and you standing up in front of the cameras trying to tell your story, right? There's a time and there's a place to tell your story. That wasn't the time and the place to do it. He should have been in the wheelchair. He should have been bandaged up. He should have had on shades. He should have kept his mask on. If he was asked questions, it should have been his lawyer or a knowledgeable rep that was there. The only questions he should have answered was, did you deny a drug test? And he should have shook his head. They had this man standing up, not in a wheelchair, not in bandages, not in shades. Can't claim memory loss because he seemed to recall everything that was there. And this is not his fault. This is the union rep's fault who put him up to this. He shouldn't have had his no disrespect to his child, but this could be something serious. He could lose his job possibly behind this. He needed professionals there, legal representation, lawyers. The union totally played this wrong. This was wrong, but in the midst of election season, once again, you will see them make stupid choices like this because this is what they do. And let's make no mistake about it. The union didn't jump to his rescue when this first happened because the union think like management. What they thought was, and what they seen was, this bus went off a bridge or whatever the case was, and this guy had to be on drugs for him to do that because this is how the union think. The union think exactly how management thinks. This is a fact. This is a fact. The union think exactly the same way how management think. I'm not making this up. We know that. So they had him there for 15 minutes standing up telling a story that he shouldn't have been telling at that time. Does that make sense? Does that make sense at all? That make absolutely no sense whatsoever. But this is what we working with a Local 100. This is what we working with the local 100. This is just how they think. We are guilty first, and then we got to fight our way to being innocent. It's just how it is. Just how it is. Now, switching gears, let's talk a little vaccine talk. Now, I knew that this was coming. Utano get the vaccine. Now, what it says is that Pres Utano joins Team Vaccine at the Javits Center. Says he didn't even feel it, encourages all workers to get the shot now to stem the tide of infections and deaths. Union strong, whatever the case is, truly light at the end of the tunnel. Now, we expect Utano to go get the vaccine. He's not that bright of a guy. He's the one who said that, remember when the track worker died, and he said that he was a big worker as to why that contributed to his death. Utano is not the brightest light bulb in the shed. In fact, I don't think that his light bulb shines at all. And plus, Utano is that age where you have to worry. He's like 60-something years old. He's not in the greatest condition, right? So it's best for him to get the vaccine. Hold on, I'm going to try to find something because a lot of people, the MTA tried to get Fauci. I should have put this in the show and I didn't. But the MTA tried to get Fauci to double down to help us, to convince us to get the vaccine. Matter of fact, I want to play this video right here because I want to stick to the facts when it comes to this vaccine. And let me get this video. Let me get this video on the screen. I want to get this video. I want you guys to watch this video. That's what I like about this show. You know, I could bring stuff up as I'm thinking about it, and it don't affect anything. But let me bring this on the screen real quick before I get into the vaccine, because Fauci is talking out both sides of his mouth. And I'm not trying to discourage anyone from getting the vaccine, but we must pay attention to the narrative that's being told. So let's listen to what Fauci actually had to say on Chris Cuomo's show. Let's check it out.
Section for you here. All right. Just some questions that keep coming up.
Okay.
Why do I have to keep wearing the mask after I get the vaccine? I thought it was going to protect me from the vaccine. What's the answer?
Well, the answer is unless you get the overwhelming majority of the country vaccinated and protected and get that umbrella of what we call herd immunity, there's still a lot of virus out there.
There's still a lot of virus out there.
So just because you're protected, so-called protected by the vaccine, you need to remember that you could be prevented from getting clinical disease and still have the virus that is in your nasopharynx because you could get infected. We're not sure at this point that the vaccine protects you against getting infected.
We're not sure at this point that the vaccine protects you against getting infected.
We know for sure it's very, very good, 95% in protecting you against clinically recognizable disease.
Clinically recognizable disease, but not COVID?
And almost 100% in protecting you for severe disease.
And almost 100% from severe disease? Well, then what does he call COVID if that's not serious?
But until you have virus that is so low in society, we as a nation need to continue to wear the mask, to keep the physical distance, to avoid crowds. We're not through with this just because we're starting a vaccine program.
We're not through with this just because we're starting a vaccine program.
Even though you as an individual might have gotten vaccinated, it is not over by any means. We still have a long way to go, and we've got to get as many people as possible vaccinated of all groups.
What does that take? When are we fully vaccinated?
Well, the projection that I've made, and I hope it works this way, it's going to depend upon the
section for you here. All right. Just some questions that keep coming up.
Okay.
Why do I have to keep wearing the mask after I get the vaccine?
You guys heard it for yourself. You go get the vaccine and you still have to do everything that you need to do as if you didn't have the vaccine. And they are not sure if you get the vaccine. This is the thing. I've been reading studies on it. you could get the vaccine and it make you asymptomatic to COVID, which means that you could still pass this virus off to your loved ones because the vaccine is not ready available for everyone at the same time. So you could be at work, you could get the virus, go home and pass it to your loved ones. Now the thing is that for me, I would prefer to know that I got COVID so I know the quarantine versus to be asymptomatic and give it to my family. And that's what this vaccine does. So I'm not paying attention to that and not too much, but the facts is the facts. We heard Fauci say the facts just now. And just in case you're unsure, you don't have to listen to me, but you can listen to Fauci, all right? Because he's talking out both sides of his mouth anyway. Now, the union put up some tweets today that's very alarming, and it shows that they had no fight back this entire time for COVID. So let me put up the first tweet. First of all, before I even get into that, right? The MTA did a video tribute for the MTA workers who passed away, and it's a nice tribute. It's simple. It's to the point. But they not being honest. At the end of that tribute, and let me put that up right now. I'm not gonna play the tribute, but at the end of that tribute, they should have put that they told us not to wear masks. A matter of fact, they told us masks were against uniform policy in the midst of this pandemic. They threatened discipline on us. Then they told us we had to provide our own mask. And then we didn't get masks maybe till like 6 weeks later after we exposed that they had masks in a central warehouse facility that they were holding for some reason and not wanting to give it to us. But I'm going to read this tweet right here because it bothered me a lot as to why it explains why they didn't fight back. So let me read the tweet. It says, video tribute to those union members lost to COVID-19 starts today in the system. Pres Utano, it's our fervent, Utano don't even use words like that. Those not even his words. It's our fervent hope that with this memorial, the riding public also keeps them in their hearts and minds. Stop a moment during your travels and reflect. Now, one of our union brothers, Elizardo Valdez, he said, we are still not safe at work. Not much has changed. Now, this is a very important dialogue that I'm showing you guys. The union, look what the union says. Well, be safe when we get the we'll be safe when we get the vaccine. Elizardo says the vaccine is not even available. None of us are safe at work. No social distance, improper contact tracing. We know more from a coworker than management. No hazard pay, but we are essential workers. Change. And the union says many of our people have already been vaccinated. What are you talking about? That's a lie. The MTA said it themselves that less than 2,000 people have been vaccinated with the MTA, and not all 2,000 of those people is Local 100 members, right? That's MTA altogether. We talking about Long Island Railroad. We talking about Metro North. We talking about and Local 100. So a lot of people did not get the vaccine yet, and the union is leaning on the vaccine to protect us. They are idiots. We just heard Fauci say that they don't really know what's going on, basically, with this vaccine. They don't know if you could still pass it on without getting sick. You still have to wash your hands. You still have to social distance. You still have to do these things as if you did not get the vaccine. And then once again, I explained this on the prior show. For the Moderna vaccine, the long-term study of side effect study for the long term is not done until October 27th, 2022. So I'm not telling you not to get the vaccine. I'm just giving you the facts so you can make an educated decision. Because what these union leadership, what the union leadership is doing, what the governor's doing, what the mayor's doing, is just telling you the positive things, but they not telling you everything about this vaccine so you can make an educated decision on if you want to get the vaccine or not. Me personally, I'm not getting the vaccine. If they ever try to make me get the vaccine, and I'm not saying that I probably won't never get the vaccine, right? But I want to wait till at least 2022, when at least I'll make my decision then, right? But now I'm not going to get the vaccine. If they try to make that we have to take the vaccine before 2022 and it's mandatory, I will not have a job. That's just how that's going to work. I'm not getting the vaccine. So if you want to get the vaccine, and then this is another thing. A lot of people want to get the vaccine and they can't get the vaccine. I'm talking about transit workers. They playing games with the people who want to get the vaccine. Listen, you want to get the vaccine, I applaud you. Go get the vaccine. But now transit workers are having a hard time going to get the vaccine. They can't get scheduled. There's not enough shots. There's a lot of BS going on that they aren't talking about. They not talking about, right? But they trying to act like we safe and all that other stuff. These people are out of their mind. Now, this next thing I'm gonna touch on, I didn't know. I want to shout out Jeremiah Wade. He brought this to my attention. But it's something to think about. Something to think about on how the union move. Now, when he brought up today, he posted on Progressive Action. And I'm going to read what it says. He says, this was in 2016, circa 2016, just a daydream. Local 100 has a budget from our dues, also receives a donation from the MTA, which in turn allows them to create and start extracurricular activities for its members with no problem. I'm confused to why we don't have other sports teams. P.S. Did we stop selling tokens yet in 2016? Now, let me blow up this picture. I find it very strange that for a union that's mostly minority, and let's be even more specific, for a union that's mostly black. If you look in the picture, if you see the person with the orange on, maybe I need to make this bigger. Let me make this bigger for you guys. Make this bigger for you guys. Y'all don't need to see me. You have the person with the orange on. That is John Samuelson. Right next to John Samuelson to his left, and you have Tony Utano. So you trying to tell me that the union can make a hockey team and no other sports team? Now, the demographics for TWU Local 100 says that there should be a basketball team. There should be a softball team, baseball team. Out of all the sports that they thought about bringing and sponsoring, and these are Local 100 workers too, they decided to do hockey. You guys don't see nothing wrong with that? So you trying to tell me you couldn't create a basketball team, couldn't create a hockey team, couldn't create a soccer team, but you create a sport that's mostly dominated by people who looks like the people who's running this union. You guys don't find that strange? You guys don't find that strange? I find that very strange. It's beyond strange to me. Now, and today, let me tell you something. You guys need to go into the union Twitter. If you don't have Twitter, I advise you to get it. Follow at Progressive Act. That's our Twitter. They be doing a lot of what I'll say dog whistle stuff on Twitter, right? So I came across this post the other day. And if you guys want to call in, the number is 515-605-9842. So I came across this post that was posted the other day, and I want to read this. They talking about Irish unification. There's a huge desire in America to see Irish unification in our lifetime. I think that the election of Joe Biden presents us with an opportunity to get behind the effort to push Irish unity. TWU, Samuelson, the Biden years, time for unity. I don't know what that word is, but Irish unity, TWU, Local 100. The international president, John Samuelson, who was the president of Local 100 and still the president of Local 100 because he's calling the shots here. He's pushing something that's dear to him because he is Irish. He's pushing Irish unity. But think about this. He's pushing Irish unity on the union platform, right? He's not pushing trade worker unity. He's not pushing unionism, but he's pushing Irish unity, right? That's not inclusive of what we are, what we represent here. But my issue is, before I get into that, let's play the video from this tweet. Check it out.
For my entire life, I had an uncle named Joe Foy, who was a Teamster official. He was a huge pursuer of human rights in the north of Ireland. So I grew up in an Irish house, and the issue of Irish unification has been at least a subject of discussion for my entire life. I had an uncle named Joe Foy, who was a Teamster official. He was a huge pursuer of human rights in the north of Ireland. So I grew up in an Irish house, and the issue of Irish unification has been at least a subject of discussion for my entire life.
So you mean to tell me, once again, we're not talking about trade worker unity, which would include everyone. We're not talking about unionism, which would include everyone, but we're talking about Irish unity because the president is Irish. He's using the union platform to push his nationality, to push his agenda, and he was something in the video. Matter of fact, let me play the video one more time. I'm gonna play the video one more time because I want y'all to pick up on what I'm listening to.
I had an uncle named Joe Foy, who was a Teamster official. He was a huge pursuer of human rights in the north of Ireland. So I grew up in an Irish house, and the issue of Irish unification has been at least a subject of discussion for my entire life. I had an uncle named Joe Foy, who was a Teamster official. He was a huge pursuer of human rights in the north of Ireland. So I grew up in an Irish house, and the issue of Irish unification has been...
Irish unification. What about uniting the workforce, which would include Irish, Black, Spanish, Italian, Chinese, Indian, Bengali, all these different nationalities, but he's talking about pushing Irish unity. Now, the problem that I have is that when us Black people talk about pro-Black things, we get called names and discouraged from creating a brotherhood amongst each other. But it's perfectly fine for John Samuelson to use the platform that we help pay for, that I help pay for, to promote Irish unity. I mean, think about it. There has been no group of people in America who have been oppressed more frequently, more often, until today than Black people, right? But forget about that. We are in trade union. Why is he pushing unity for his people? And he's mentioning other trade unionists in his field. So what does that mean? What does that sound like? He's looking to bring up people who look like him, people from his background. Because when he talk about Irish unity, he talking about bringing up other Irish people into prominent positions, making them presidents of unions, making them vice presidents of departments, putting them in the top 4. But when we do it, it's an issue. When we talk about being pro-Black, it's an issue. We got to remember when certain people talk about being, I mean, how can you be oppressed? I mean, maybe someone needs to educate me, because I don't know no group of people that's more oppressed than Black people in America. No group of people, because I can't look at Samuelson don't go act Irish to me. He acts Italian, right? See, when you black people, once you're black, you're black. That's it. That's it. When you look at all these others, the others, they could code switch. They could be Italian one day. They could be Spanish the other day. They could be anything they want to be. That's of that hue. But when you're black, you're black. But for a president, the international president, to push Irish unity, right? That's fine. But I do have a problem with him pushing Irish unity before he start pushing trade unionism, before he start pushing unionism. How about some unity within the trade union faction? How about some unity within Local 100? He's not focused on that. He's not focused on that. But when we talk our talk, oh, you're playing a race card. Oh, you're doing this. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Let me see what y'all guys talking about on Let me see what you guys talking about. Yeah, no baseball, no basketball, bro, none. And we know hockey is more of a white person sport. Yes, we know that. But the fact of the matter is that I don't know how to make it more clearer than it is. Like, there's no inclusion when it comes to Local 100, and they don't care about other people. They don't care. Utano don't care about people of color. Samuelson don't care. He cares about Irish unity. That's what he cares about. Utano is trying to set up some Italian thing. These guys are being so divisive, right? At a time when we need unity, we got these union presidents. Now, we don't expect them to come out bold and say, yeah, I only care about my people. No, we expect them to say what they say. Oh, we need to be unified. But they saying that we need to be unified, but they unifying their people. Samuelson is worrying about unifying the Irish community. Utano is focused on unifying the Italians. That's why he's working with JP. JP told him earlier this year that I am running against you. And Utano accepted him back because they got this Irish thing going on. I mean, it's this Italian thing going on. Really, to be honest, Progressive Action is the only group of people pushing true unity. We are pushing true unity. We not only saying it, we are talking about it. We are doing it in action. We working with everyone. When we talk about being pro-black, see, that's the difference. When we talk about being pro-black, we not talking about catapulting anyone before us. We talking about unifying within us as black people. We hate each other so much. Did you guys see Nuke Last Live? Go to Nuke Last Live. She talks about it within the women, though, right? But when we talk about being pro-black, we talking about not hurting each other, not harming each other, respecting each other, really being brothers and sisters, right? But when other groups talk about unifying, they not talking about helping anyone else out. They talking about how can they continue to help themselves out? How can they continue to uplift themselves? When us black people talk about that, that's not what we talking about, right? But it's cool for them to talk that, but it's not cool for us to talk about us being pro-black, right? I'm not fooled. I know my history. Oh, we got a call on the line. Let's see who's calling in. Caller 8046. You now live on the Progressive Action TV show. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Scott.
What's your name?
Scott, CTA.
Scott, CTA.
Scott.
How you doing?
I'm all right. What you just saying is honestly true. And Joe Biden is doing the same thing, but on a larger national scale. If you watch what he says, he's saying the same thing. He's calling for unity. We can't have unity as a country if we're not out here charging insurrectionists. You can't have unity and heal a country until you fix the ongoing issues and problems. So what you said is 100% facts.
Now that I'm glad
they just falling in line, and now they're saying it on a workers level. oh, we need unity under this group. It's basically white man's unity, because simple fact is, I want to say 2036 or 2040, this country will be a nation of people of color.
Correct.
And they are afraid. They running scared. They don't know what to do.
That's
and things are slowly changing. But they study with these dog whistles. But if you pay close attention, it's coming down from the top. It wasn't just Trump. It was Joe Biden. How you going to sit there, insurrection, people attack their capital, and you talking about healing? Bro, this country ain't never been healed since slavery.
Facts.
This has been an ongoing issue. So you can't talk about we trying to heal and unite a country, and you got a two-tier justice system. Come on.
Facts. See, what Biden and them trying to do is that not trying to empower the white supremacists that they saying that Trump had, right? Because it's not like, they could impeach Trump 1,000 times, right? Trump base is not going anywhere, right? They always been there. They've been there before Trump. They will be there after Trump, right? And then when you look at the insurrection that happened in the Capitol, I mean, these people was getting charged with crimes like I went boosting in Macy's, right? They went to take over.
Exactly.
They went to take over the Capitol. I mean, they had plans
Not
to
just take over the Capitol.
kidnap.
They went to kill.
Yeah, exactly.
They went to kill.
Exactly. Why aren't they being charged properly, right? Now, Biden is talking about we need the Hill, we need to do this, we need to do that. Why are they continuously going after Trump? He's out. If we go start the Hill, let's start the Hill properly, right? But healing is not ignoring what these white supremacists do, because that's actually adding putting more alcohol into the wound. Because we all know if those were people of color, Black Lives Matter, ADOS, or any other group, we would have been death sentence. It wouldn't have been no bail. It wouldn't have been no anything.
No.
Right.
No.
We
and that's the overall issue. People want to, Trump is gone. We can't focus on the fact that Trump is gone, because Trump is still there. Trump still has the Republican Party. They're still running scared. And I don't even call it a Republican Party. That is the party of Trump. That is the party of white supremacy. And they're still running scared. They're still going to bow and do as Trump says. But the thing is, with Joe Biden, you can't talk about we going to heal if we ain't fix the issues from the past.
Yeah.
White supremacy, what Trump did, he just allowed them to roll their heads out and stick their heads out and go and beat their chest and say, yeah, we here. But it's always been there. So the fact that Joe Biden talking about, we need to heal and unite, get out of here. You talking that BS, bro, and I'm not with it. Straight up. I'm looking at your policies. Right now, they were talking about how he's playing around with the policies. We supposed to be getting $2,000, and he basically shucking and driving on it. Like, get out of here.
Well, one thing I found out that Biden lied about was that I thought he was pushing for minimum wage for everyone. Come to find out, he was only pushing it for federal workers. And I was boggled by that. Like, I thought the $15 minimum wage, he was pushing for everyone, but it's only for federal workers. But let me ask you this. What you think about the state of our union right now?
Oh, say that again, because you broke up.
What you think about the state of our union right now?
It's a joke. It's absolutely a joke. It literally is. It's absolutely a joke. Things that I see, and I've only been down a year, that's going on, I feel should have been stopped years ago. Like the way you being treated, like just over. It's literally it's a joke. I laugh sometimes. So I'm like, what? Like, why is this? Like, you can't ask why are you doing things like this, and it's the way it's always been done. Like, what do you mean it's the way it's always been done? Like, done back in the $3 shipping fee. Are y'all crazy? Y'all just allowing them to get more money to mismanage. No. Honestly, I believe that the DOJ should come in for a federal investigation. The books need to be investigated, all of them. Not one book, not two books, not three books. All of the NTA needs to be investigated, and Chromo needs to be investigated as well. Just on a federal level. Just come in, investigate the whole thing. Let's find out where. The NTA is like the Pentagon on a state level.
Mm-hmm.
They get all this money, and you never know where it goes. It's always misused. You can't never account for it. Because literally, I've been telling people once they started that, we need to charge $3 to help the MTA. I've been telling people, I'm like, look at your cell phone bills. This is an MTA surcharge. If you take an Uber, if you take a Lyft, if you take a yellow cab, this is an MTA surcharge, and they've been getting this money for years. What are you doing with all of it?
Well,
Because people ain't got house phones no more. They got cell phones. And literally, the charges be like $20, $30 a month, depending on how big your bill is. What are they doing with all this money? It's millions of New Yorkers. Everybody got a cell phone. They're getting charged as MTA tax. People forever take Ubers who don't even take New York City public transportation. There's an MTA surcharge. What are they doing with all this money? Now, they don't need no access to no more money. That price and progression they wanted to do, if you enter 96th Street, there's a separate fee. They don't need none of that. They need to be federally investigated, and the union should be helped pushing for it, too. We want to know, we want full accountability for this money because we ain't getting it. The employees are not giving it. You're not giving it to us. You're not putting it in our pension. We want to be federally investigated. We want to know what all this money is doing.
That's a fact. Now,
and the fact that we had 100 and something deaths, they need to be investigated for that and charged with accessory to murder.
Now, let me ask you a
because
question.
You knew what this was going down. Like you said this before last year. You didn't listen to CDC before. You had your own policies. So why are you waiting to listen to CDC now? And my thing is people always want to go, well, Trump didn't do this and Trump didn't do that. You knew Trump was an idiot from the start.
Facts.
So why are you waiting on Trump to do something?
Facts.
Everybody want to go, but Trump. We all knew Trump was an idiot. So why are we waiting on Trump to tell us how to make a move or anything else?
Facts.
Like, come on. That's like you waiting for an idiot to tell you what to do?
Facts.
Like, literally, we don't do that. So, like, literally, so since you wanted to wait on the president, and you knew the president was an idiot 1 minute, so we're going to charge you with accessory to murder. And that's what the union should be calling for. For 130-something deaths, the union should be calling for the MTA be investigated for murder.
Facts. I agree with you. Now you said you're a CTA, right?
I'll say that again?
You say you're a CTA, right?
Yeah, I'm a CTA.
Now, did you see in the news today about how the MTA, when they brought in these contractors, they thought they was gonna be saving money, and they actually didn't save no money by closing down the subway and bringing in these what they call these other cleaners. These
hold on, I didn't get all of that. I didn't get all of that with the dues, because you were breaking in and out.
Did you see what happened about the MTA saying that they didn't save money closing the subways between 1 and 5 for the subways to be clean? Did you see that today?
No.
Yeah, they what they did was they tried to save money, and they thought they was go bring in these cleaners from outside companies, and they didn't save no money. Right? They did it to save money, and they didn't save no money, where they could have put that money in your pocket, a union member pocket, right? But we got to remember that the union allowed these people onto the property to do our work. I mean, we are so screwed up as a union, and that's why I put the title of this video. We are seeing a demise of Local 100 right before our eyes. It's dying before our eyes, and they got their golden parachutes. If Utano lose the union election, which he will lose the union election, lose the union election this year, he will retire and possibly go to the international or somewhere. He don't care about the everyday worker. You said you got a year. You think Utano is trying to set you up for the next 24 years of your career? You know what I'm saying? Well, caller, thanks for calling in. We'll speak again. That's Scott. I think he said his name was Scott. He's a CTA. But yeah, man, look, we got to wake up. It's a union election this year. You guys know, we're gonna do. Y'all know that I'm running in the top 4 with Paulie. He's heading the slate, union president, Paulie Navarro. We got Onisha Shea. She's Map Stower. We got Joe Campbell. He's CED. And we got myself, RTO. If you ask me, it's a dream team. Last year, you guys wanted me and Campbell to run together. Not only that, we gave y'all that, and we also giving you Onisha, and we giving you guys Paulie. I mean, you guys gonna love Paulie. Paulie is fair. He's honest. You're gonna like him as a person. These other guys, like, you get funny feelings when you're around them other guys. You know what I mean? Like, they just funny. Like, you could tell they got this job, and that's what made or not even his job. They became somebody in the union, and that's what their life is. Not helping people, but this is the only time they ever been important in their life. Like you look at them, they and I'm not even trying to make fun of them, but they don't dress right. They dress funny. You got some of them still wearing mullets. I mean, they don't get they pants hemmed up or none of that other stuff. And I got some important interviews coming up. I got an interview with a female, how she was treated by the MTA for her random. I got an interview coming up with that. I got an interview where a female was given bad advice by a union rep and told to lie during arbitration, and that and that he would take care of it, and he threw her up under the bus. She ended up getting 20 days. That could affect any one of us for a customer complaint. I got some important shows coming up, and we're going to talk about these things. For right now, I need you guys to hit my Cash App. Hit my Cash App. You see it on the screen. My Cash App is Progressive Action 100. That's how you support the show. You support the show through donations. Donate to the platform. Like I said, it's Progressive Action 100 for Cash App. The PayPal is Progressive Action, and in the link of this video on YouTube and Facebook, you will see something called Patreon where you could donate every month. It's important that you guys do that to support the platform. I'll probably go live again maybe tomorrow or Thursday, and I'm doing another live later on this week. And we will get to our State of the Union address very soon. Thanks for tuning in to the Progressive Action TV show. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.